in my packet right now. Sorry. Alright, sorry, I don't know where one of my math packets. Hang on, I gotta check my thing. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna email you a picture of the worksheet I have. Alright?
Yep, that's fine. Just tell me when it says email sent.
Okay. This is just some stuff that I need to practice on.
Okay.
It's another worksheet. Okay, email, and then okay, it just sent.
Actually, my phone usually alerts me before my computer receives it. There we go. That was my phone going off, but it's always right there.
I need help with 13, 14, 15, and 16.
All right. Whenever you're factoring anything, the very first thing you should look for is greatest common factor. Okay, now they don't say greatest here, but that's what they want you to do. It says factor the common factor out of each expression. Well, they really mean greatest common factor. Okay, and there's two parts. There's the greatest common number, and there's the greatest common letter. In other words, there's the numbers and the variables. So let's take the numbers first. Between those three numbers, is there any number that you can factor out?
7p to the second power.
In other words, 7 was the biggest number. P squared was the biggest variable. And what's left? And by that I mean, when you take each term and you divide it by that factor, what do you get?
2p, just 2p and then
hold on.
Negative.
Now before you even go to the next term, multiply those two together, and what do you get? Make sure you got what you started with. That's what you're supposed to get, right?
Yeah.
Do you get that?
So does that mean it needs to be p to the third?
Yes.
Okay.
Very important step, and it's important to do these as you go along. Because if you wait till you get to the end, there might be 8 steps, and you'll never figure out where you made your mistake. So get in the habit of checking it as you go. What's the next term?
Negative 7p. No, just negative 7. Right? Is it just negative 7?
You tell me.
Would there be a p left?
You tell me again, multiply that by that, and do you get that?
Okay, so it has to have 4p in it. Or p to the fourth.
Well, first of all, 7 isn't the right number. In other words, 35 divided by 7 is 5.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That was a big brain
That's okay,
fart.
but that's the first part. Let's get the number right. Okay.
Okay, so it's
Now, what amount of p do I need so that when I multiply these things back together again, I'm going to have that.
okay, so it's negative 7p squared.
There you go. See, if you check as you go along, you make sure you have the right answer.
Yeah.
What's the last term?
6, just 6 because if you multiply 7p squared to 6, it'll equal 42p squared. Plus 6.
Gotta have the plus sign.
Yeah.
This is not a place where you can ignore the plus sign. In front of the 7 and in front of this 2 over here, you can ignore the plus sign. You cannot when it is part of a polynomial. When it is being added to the other two terms, you have to include it.
Okay.
All right, let's look at 14. It's the greatest number that can be taken out.
9.
And what's the greatest letter that can be taken out?
Um, just N.
None.
None?
Unless you meant N as in none.
Alright.
Okay. In other words, you can't take out an N. For you
So
to be able to take out an N, you have to be able to divide each term by N. And I cannot divide 9 by N. I could divide 18N by N, but you got to be able to divide every single term by that greatest common factor. Okay, what's left?
So 9 times 1 would give you to 9 again, and then plus 2 and
There you go. Now multiply those together in your head. Do you get that?
yep.
Okay, cool. You did it right. Let's go to 15.
Okay. So with this, the greatest common factor would be 9 again, and then I would put down in parentheses. I can't get v out, so I have to divide. So that's negative 4.
Hold on. Here, let me show you the easy way to do this. This is too much of a struggle for you. You got the 9 right. Okay? The way to get the rest of it is divide that by 9, divide that by 9, and divide that by 9.
Okay.
So what's 27 divided by 9?
Oh, okay. 3
Okay? What's that?
minus 4v
And what is that?
5v squared.
It's plus 5v squared.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Now, if by chance you had not chosen the greatest common factor, let's say you tried factoring out a 3 instead of a 9. Well, you're still going to be able to factor out a 3, but what you're going to find is that what you have left, you could still factor another greatest common factor out of it. Whereas in this case, I know that 9 was the greatest possible because what I have left over, you can't factor another greatest common factor out of
Okay.
it. Okay?
So should we move on to 16?
Yeah, because they didn't ask you to fully factor it.
Yeah.
If they asked you to fully factor it, well, then we might play around with seeing if we could factor that quadratic. But they didn't. Okay.
Okay.
So on 16, I find it helpful to treat the numbers and the variables different. So let's talk about the number. What's the greatest possible number?
9.
What's the greatest possible variable?
2.
First of all, I can't read that. What's that last
Oh,
term say? Plus 81.
x squared. X squared,
Is
sorry.
that it? There's nothing else after that?
No, it's 90 x to the 9th plus 45 x to the 4th plus 81 x to the 3rd, and then 81 x or plus 81 x to the 2nd.
Okay. So the greatest common variable then is x squared.
Yeah.
Now, tell me what you have left over.
Okay, so divided by 9, and then
Is it
plus.
helpful to you if I put that in there like that?
Yeah, I'm doing it on my paper.
Well, good.
So,
I won't do it then on mine, but it
um,
should be helpful to you.
so
Maybe I don't
5x
always do that, but I
squared
think I'm going to start.
9x to the just plus 9x and then
Hold on.
plus.
Let's
Oh
start.
no, it is.
First of all, let's do the number. Always do these separately. Do the numbers first. What's 90 divided by 9?
I keep forgetting about the first term. I don't know why, but I just immediately moved to the second term in my brain for some reason.
Huh.
But okay, so it's 10x to the 7th
Okay.
plus 5x to the 2nd, and then plus 9x, and then plus 9, or yeah, and then just plus 9.
Okay. Very good. Again, if you check this resultant, I cannot take anything else out of there. If I could take a number out of there, then I didn't find the greatest common factor. But I can't.
Yeah.
I can't divide. I can't take any more variables out. I can't take any numbers out. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Um, could we do a couple of maybe like of the top section,
Uh-huh.
like
Which ones you pick?
um, let's just do 5, and then we'll choose a like 9 and
Okay.
8.
What have they taught you? Have they taught you FOIL?
Yeah, I know like stuff's a foil. I have it written down
Okay.
um somewhere. No, I have it
So,
written down.
well, you know what I like better than FOIL?
Hmm.
Every term by every term. ET. And there's a reason I like it better. Is because it works on everything they're giving you here are binomial times a binomial. In other words, 2 terms times 2 terms. ET works on every combination. And ET is very easy to understand. You don't have to memorize what the FOIL means. ET by ET means every term. Hold on, gotta take a screenshot. Every term by every term. Start with the term on the left, multiply it by that. Keep going with that term, multiply it by the other. Then take the next term, multiply it by that, and take that term and multiply it by that. Add all 4 together. That's what FOIL is. And in fact, FOIL does it in that exact order. The F stands for first, which is that one. The O stands for outside, which is that one. The I stands for inside, which is that one. And the L stands for last, which is that one. So FOIL is fairly nice in terms of how to do it, but it's really ET. You're just taking every single term and multiplying it by every term that is in the other parentheses. So, that being the case, tell me the first term.
Negative 42 and
Okay, what's minus 7n times minus 6n?
oh, okay, negative 4, negative, oh no, 42 n squared. There we go. All right,
The next,
and then the next term is negative 49n.
Okay, keep going.
And then the next term is 48, negative 48n. And then the last term is 56, plus 56.
Okay. Now, whenever you've done this, the only terms that are going to combine are always those two middle terms. So simplify it by combining those two terms.
Okay, so
Final answer. In other words, that's really not an appropriate final answer. You'd lose points if you put that as an answer. Distribute,
okay,
which is what we did. We found the product, and then it says combine like terms. Well, we've got two middle terms there that are like terms. We don't have any more n squareds, so we can go ahead and write that. What does that combine to?
it combines to 100 and no, oh no, 90, 97.
Tell me a sign. I'm not going to write just 97. You know that's not correct.
Oh, okay. 97 and
Okay, I
negative 9.
still need a
Yeah.
sign. I need a plus or a minus.
Oh my gosh. Okay, negative 97 n squared.
Actually, it's just n.
But I thought you combined them and that would be
Hold on. What's happening is you're getting addition and subtraction confused with multiplication. If I multiply n times n, I get n squared. If I add n, I get 2n.
okay.
Okay? So if I have minus 3n minus 4n, that's minus 7n.
Okay.
It's only when you are multiplying that you change the exponent, that it becomes an n squared. When you're adding, that
Okay.
one apple plus another apple is two apples.
Okay.
Okay? So always, if you make mistakes between addition and multiplication, you cannot do that. That is
Okay.
something you'll never get away with. I mean, by that, I mean you can't progress any further than this. If you're making mistakes where you're applying rules of multiplication when you're adding or subtracting, or vice versa. That's just, you can't do it. That's one of the things in math you can never, ever get away with doing. Okay? So that's our final answer.
Okay.
Okay? Let's do 6. Just do it term by term.
Okay. So negative b times negative 3b and then negative b times. Sorry, I'm just writing the lines. So negative b times negative 3b would be negative 3b squared since we're multiplying now, right?
Well, you got the 3b squared right.
Okay. Oh, because it's multiplying.
Negative is
Yeah.
positive. So it's
Right.
3b squared. Next term.
That one is 7b plus 7b. And then positive 21b plus 21b. And then, 49b. And then plus 49. Sorry, not b, plus 49. There we go.
Now,
And then we gotta simplify it.
terms.
So 3b squared plus 28b, and then plus 49.
Yeah. like I said, it's usually only, I don't know if it's 100% of the time or not, but 99% of the time, it's those two middle terms that combine. You're not going to have any other b squareds, and you're not going to have any other pure numbers.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do 7. Well, hold on. I think you've got this at this point. Don't you think you do?
Yeah.
You got 5 minutes. Let me pick some for you to do.
Okay.
10.
10?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
First of all, write it. What does that mean?
So does that mean I have to write it as 4m minus 1 and then 4m plus 1?
Nope.
And,
Squared means
oh,
times
yeah.
itself.
Alright.
If I'm doing 3 squared, it's 3 times 3. If I'm doing 4m minus 1 squared, it's 4m times 4m minus 1. Now it becomes just like any of these others.
Yeah, okay.
Do it real quick for me.
Okay. Now I do 4m times 4m, which is 16m squared. And then 4m times negative 1 is 4m, or no, plus 4m.
You know what? You should start with the sign. I notice you always add the sign last. Don't start with
Okay.
the sign. Before you
Okay.
give me the second term, give me the correct sign. What do you get when you get 4m times negative 1? What sign is that?
M. And then it would be
We're doing
4m.
this part right here.
Okay, so it would be negative 4m.
Okay, so the first thing you see is that the sign's going to be negative. And you're right, it's 4m. Now, do the rest of it and start with the sign each time.
Okay, so it's going to be a negative m for the next one, and then
Not negative m. I'm doing those two.
yeah, so it's negative 4m.
Negative 4m. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the 4. Okay, and what's the last term? Sign first.
Negative. It's just 1 plus
Sign
1
first.
plus 1.
Okay, I need the plus. I cannot leave the plus out. If I leave the plus out, I get the problem wrong. Okay, now combine terms.
Negative 8 m plus 1.
That's it. All right. Britt, looks like a good stopping spot.
All right.
Think you
Thank you.
probably can do everyone else on this page. I haven't scrolled
Yeah, I
down
think I got it.
but I think you've got the technique down now.
Awesome.
Okay.
All
Talk
right.
to you
Well,
tomorrow.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.